what are some practical ways that marketers can change their mindset and their approach to advertising to the 50 plus crowd?
Well, the first thing is representation around the table, authentic representation. Once
Yes.
upon a time in the Mad Men era, we know there were a bunch of white guys who sat around the table and decided what everybody wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And then women sat around the table and gave their the authenticity to that discussion. And then people of color, and then multicultural and different identities and lifestyles. But what is sadly missing is people who are, let's say, over 45, who are around the creative table, to be able to say, that is really off the mark. That is not what this cohort represents today. Being in that conversation. And so I think being around the table and having creative people around the table on that discussion is really important. QVC, which has gone through a really fantastic evolution with a project called The Age of Possibility, working with their partner Dentsu and creating this exact discussion. They have 50 women that they've identified who are 50 to 80, who are very much a part of the discussion about how the QVC brand is represented and so forth. It's really a great way to inject authenticity into the discussion. So I think that's really, one big critical thing that I would mention.
Absolutely. And yeah, and I love that QVC example, because a pipeline can look like a lot of different things. You don't need you need the people in the room, but they can be your customers, your advocates, your employees, your agency partners. Representation's really the point, and there are a lot of different entryways into that for people thinking that it's, I need a 50-year-old creative director in every room, or I'm not doing this. There are a lot of ways to get that genuine feedback, get that presence.
A lot of mix. The other good thing that's happening is we're now seeing in what I call the celebrity culture, the entertainment culture, the editorial culture, the right kind of cues. When you look at Oprah Winfrey as 70, I mean, this is what 70 looks like today, people. Yeah. Lenny Kravitz is 60. The guy's ripped, and you're like, really? Jennifer Lopez is in her mid-50s. Demi Moore is 61. I mean, all of a sudden you're seeing celebrity, and celebrity does influence culture. You're also seeing it in entertainment in terms of roles. Gene Smart in Hacks is a good example. We're also seeing it editorially in the Hearst magazines, for example, with cover people who are over 50 and men and women. And so putting out those messages is an important influence also for the creative and ad community, which tend to be very insular. They tend to speak, to themselves about what is, sort of cool and new and happening. And it is a very insular industry. Start to look outside yourself at what's going on around you in these cultures that I've mentioned, but also in the consumer culture.